Good morning. I'm Chris Kobach, the Kansas Attorney General. As many of you already know, the Attorney General is the top lawyer who represents the state of Kansas in court. It's also the chief law enforcement officer of a state. And it's such an honor to be here, to congratulate you, to be part of this ceremony, which is such an important part of your lives. And I want to begin with three Latin words that you may never have heard of before. The words are Civis Romanum Sum. It means I am a Roman citizen. In the ancient world of 2,000 years ago, those were the three most powerful words any person could say. It guaranteed one personal safety anywhere in the Roman Empire. And if any Roman citizen was charged with any crime, they could not be touched or injured or punished in any way until they were first tried in Rome, not in the colony where they were accused. Those of us who are of Christian faith may remember the story of the Apostle Paul in Acts chapter 22. It's actually Acts 22, verse 28. Paul had been arrested by a Roman tribune for his preaching, and he was about to be flogged and interrogated, and then he said those three words, Civis Romanum Sum. And this is what the verse records. So, those who were about to examine him withdrew from him immediately. And the tribune himself was also very afraid, for he realized that Paul was a Roman citizen and that he had bound him, end quote. So they then put him on a ship to Rome, and it was while awaiting trial in Rome that Paul wrote the famous book of Romans. But as powerful as those words were, 2,000 years ago, Roman citizenship is nothing compared to United States citizenship today. You have today been given the most desired national citizenship the world has ever known. More people have traveled and worked and saved money and struggled to become U.S. citizens than have sought to become citizens of any other nation in the history of the world. And that's an incredible accomplishment, what you have received today. For as you have learned, American citizenship is valuable, and it's different than the citizenship of other countries. Our citizenship is not defined by a common race, a common ethnicity, or common ancestry. In fact, our ancestors all come from all parts of the globe. You each have a country of origin that is different, the United States. My great-grandparents came from Norway and Poland and Bohemia in the 1890s. But we are all Americans now. Indeed, the only people who can say that their ancestors didn't come from a different country are those who are Native Americans. You see, we are not in the United States united by a common ancestry. Americans are united by a common set of values, and it's sometimes called the American Creed. The late great Harvard professor Samuel Huntington wrote a book on this called Who Are We? And I was blessed to study under him when I was at Harvard. The American Creed is something that all Americans should come to know and understand and appreciate. It's 5 things. First, it's reverence for the rule of law. In America, we are all equally protected by the law. No one is above anyone else, even if he has great wealth or is in a powerful elected position like an attorney general or a governor or a senator. Everybody must obey the law. Second, it is embracing the Bill of Rights found in our Constitution. The freedom of speech, the right to exercise our religion freely as we so choose, the right to gather together, the right to bear arms, which by the way is very unusual in the world and is a special right that the United States sets apart from other countries with. The right to be secure in your home, the right to use your property as you see fit, and other rights mentioned in our Constitution. Third, it's individual responsibility. Each of us is responsible for our own success in life. The government owes us nothing. We are all blessed with this same right and the same opportunities under law, but it's up to us how we use them. Fourth, and this goes with the third, it's something that used to be called the Protestant work ethic, but it became a universal ideal in the 1800s, and now doesn't really have anything specific to do with Protestantism. It's the idea that hard work is honorable and that we are a country made up of people who work hard. And fifth, the English language. This unifying language allows Americans to come together, collaborate, share our ideas, disagree, discuss, but to communicate effectively as a united people, despite our ancestries. My great-grandparents didn't speak English when they came here, but they learned as quickly as they could so that they could be better rewarded for their hard work. And I'm sure the same is true for many of you and your families. It is an effective tool that allows a diverse nation to succeed and to prosper. The elements of this creed have defined American citizens for for over 250 years. It's this creed that has made the United States the most powerful and successful country on the earth. It's not because we possess more minerals or more oil or anything like that. It's the American creed. But sadly, many Americans have forgotten these values, or they take them for granted, or worse, some Americans even attack these values and don't value their United States citizenship. And that's where you have an advantage over United States citizens who were born here. You have seen what it is to be a citizen of the United States, and you have chosen to become a citizen of the United States. And therefore you have an appreciation greater than many of us who were born citizens of the United States. You don't take it for granted because you worked hard to get it. So I'm going to give you a challenge. 3 quick things. First, learn and embrace the American creed, if you haven't already, but I suspect you already have. The rule of law, the Bill of Rights, individual responsibility, the work ethic, and the English language. Second, teach your children and your grandchildren to love and respect this country and also embrace the American creed. Don't let them become a generation that takes it for granted or even does not like the notion of American citizenship. And third, this is the easiest one, and you can actually get it done today. Vote. It's one of the greatest privileges of American citizenship, and there are some volunteers in the lobby who will register you to vote today just by filling out a simple piece of paper. And you will have your first opportunity to vote in 2.5 months on November 3rd. And that's a big day. I can still remember, I imagine everybody up here can remember the day they cast their first vote and who was on the ballot when they cast their first vote. For me, it was 1984, and Ronald Reagan was seeking re-election for president against Michael Dukakis. And I remember some of the other candidates on the ballot too. Now, this won't be a presidential election this November, but there will be lots of important offices on the ballot, including your U.S. Senator, your U.S. Representative, Governor, Attorney General, and on down the line. So please vote. A huge percentage of Americans born here take that privilege for granted, and they forget or they fail to vote. I know this because before I was Attorney General, I was the Secretary of State of Kansas, and that office is in charge of organizing and running elections. So let me end where I began. Let us celebrate today that we can say something more powerful, special regarding citizenship than people elsewhere in the world can say. Not, I am a Roman citizen, but I am a United States citizen. Congratulations, and thank you.